Tuesday Drive.
And now to a special guest who should need no introduction if you live in Sydney. Denise Hanlon is an award-winning singer, a professional comedian and an experienced MC. And according to her very own website, can do all three at once, I presume. She's been on stage with some much-loved Aussie icons such as Gene Kitson from ABC's Thank God It's Friday with Richard Glover, Bob Down, who I absolutely love, Libby Gore, and Courtney Act, who did her best in Australia Decides to try and represent Australia in the 2019 Eurovision Song Contest. But Denise is back and about to perform, and if you're wondering why I had this city entertainer on our Shoalhaven station on Australia Day, well, it's because she's been performing in our very own Kangaroo Valley for many years, and she joins me now. Hello, Denise.
Greetings, Stephen. How are you? It's lovely to chat with you all the way down here in the Shoalhaven. Is it hot?
Oh, look, doing very well on Australia Day. Yes, it is blinking hot, high 30s, not coping, nor is the air conditioner, to be honest. Hey, look, I've got to ask you, look, obviously a lot of people have been talking about the heat and how you're coping with it, but the other big question is, how have you coped as an entertainer through COVID-19?
Well, I haven't. I haven't performed at all since February last year. I guess in that very kind introduction of yours, the element that was missing is that I'm actually a human resources consultant by day and a singer by night.
Sorry.
No, not at all. But I guess the benefit of that is that when there is no, singing to be done, entertaining to be done, then I try to keep myself in appropriate amounts of food and wine through HR consulting. So I've been doing that. I've been playing lots of golf, Stephen. As you know, Kangaroo Valley Golf Resort is a favourite of mine. So, yes, I've been keeping myself very busy, actually, around the house, DIYing and all sorts of things. So no singing, unfortunately, but I've managed to keep myself very busy.
So February 2020 was roughly the last time you've performed. Is that right?
Yes, that's it. That's exactly right.
So in the 11 months, have you kept on singing at home at least, just to keep the tonsils all warmed up, all greased and ready to go?
You know what? I wish the answer was yes, but the answer is no. And I've got a show coming up, so I'm going to get to it. But I'll tell you what I have enjoyed through COVID. It's the range of online performances. So I follow, a few different performers, Casey Donovan, for example, and, they do some stuff to keep in the habit online. And the creativity of people has just been amazing, actually. So I'm still very much in touch with all things musical, but I need to get my acting gear before my next show.
Which we are going to talk about very, very soon. And look, speaking of acts and performing, I did mention in the introduction, of course, that the reason I have you on the show today is that you have actually performed in Kangaroo Valley a number of times. How many years has it been?
Many times, actually. I've been lucky enough to be part of an annual event that's held at the Kangaroo Valley Golf Resort. The event itself has been running for 20 years. I had the last show in 2019, I think, and I sang for 15 of those. It's amazing. Sound old, but yes, so I sang it for 15 years, and I'm pretty sure you were there for most of them, Stephen.
I think I was there for a few, yes, and obviously that's how I've come to know you over the years. But tell me, Denise, what have you missed about the Shoalhaven, as it's been quite a few years since you've been down here?
It has been a while, actually. I really miss it, and of course this time last year it was pretty fraught down there. But hopefully it's, things are recovering. But, as you can tell, I'm an avid golfer, so I really miss having a hit on the golf course down there in beautiful Kangaroo Valley. And even though, I'm born and bred Australian, kangaroos, the fact that they're kind of hopping across the golf course, dodging golf balls, they still mesmerise me, I have to say. So I have very, very fond memories.
Really? What is it about a kangaroo that mesmerises you if you've seen them so often?
I know. Well, it's just been, out in their own space, I suppose, and we're kind of guests on their territory. But they just kind of hang to themselves and get on with life, and we kind of play golf around them. And I don't know, they're they're just amazing creatures to me. And I think Kangaroo Valley Golf Course is the only place I've ever seen a live wombat, apart from the zoo.
Oh, on the actual
Mm.
greens itself.
Yes, well, scurrying around the restaurant area there. Yes,
Oh, you hit the
so
ball
that
over,
remains.
did you? You hit the ball over the wombat?
Yes, well, I wasn't playing at the time. I think I was partaking in a few dozen shandies at the end of the round, but that didn't affect my ability to tell that it was a real wombat.
I was actually talking to somebody the other day about the shandy, and I actually had to explain to this woman what a shandy was, and I thought, have I stepped into the twilight zone or something? Or I just thought it was a staple drink.
Well, yes, I think it's a bit of an oldie term. Beer and lemonade is the typical way that you would have a shandy. Of course, I use it as an euphemism for, well, anything alcoholic, really. I'm pretty flexible on the fluid, so when I say shandy, it rarely means a shandy. It probably means wine.
Hey, look, it is Australia Day. Do you know what generation you are?
I do, in fact. I am an eighth generation Australian. My father traced our family tree years ago and came to know that James Bruce is in fact my ancestor, and he came out on the first fleet. So I'm from criminal stock. He was a convict. My father actually told me that he was a bigamist, which he, for some strange reason, he took great pride in. But that's not actually true. He was just a common garden variety burglar, and he was sent to Australia for 7 years. But he is well known for being the first person to successfully grow corn in Australia. And
Really?
he did
Wow.
such a good job. Yeah, he was given a parcel of land and freehold, I think the term is, parcel of land, and started kind of helping to feed the colony, which is kind of cool, actually. I mean, my only relationship with James Roos is a couple of speeding tickets on James Roos Drive out there near Parramatta. But yes, I have it on good authority that I'm a direct descendant of James Roos. So there you go, from criminal stock.
You see, I think that's incredible. I mean, there's so many people out there that don't know where they come from, or they struggle to research their family history. You get to go back to day dot right here in
Yeah,
Australia. That's
yeah, in
amazing.
Australia, that's right. Well, yeah, my dad did. I trust he got it right.
Well, you'd want to trust your father, wouldn't you?
Well, he got the whole bigamy thing wrong, so anything's possible. But but anyway, that's the story. So eighth generation. My sister has a couple of kids who are kind of young adults now, so they're the ninth generation. So yeah, we keep keeping on.
I am talking with Denise Hanlon, award-winning singer, a professional comedian, and an experienced MC. Now, Denise, have you heard of the 100 Beach Challenge?
Well, only in recent times, actually, Stephen, when you told me in the 30 seconds before this interview what it was. So
Well,
I'm
I'm
not going
glad
to
you're up to
pretend.
speed now. That's great.
I'm not going to pretend. So it's trying to encourage people to visit the beautiful Shoalhaven,
Absolutely,
and all.
yes.
You've got 100 beaches down there. Is that right?
Well, at least 100 decent, good quality beaches. And look, there's some very popular ones down here, which I won't name now. And if you're familiar with the Shoalhaven, you know what they are. But the fact is, especially during this Australia Day long weekend, they've become quite populated. So we need to encourage people to go to the 99 other beaches around that are just as spectacular. But Denise, I've got this vision that you haven't really been performing for 12 months. Do you
Mm.
think we could ever see you performing on the beach, perhaps entertaining on the beach?
Look, I may have done a performance on the beach years ago. I'm just trying to remember now because I'm from Newcastle. That's where I'm
Ah,
from, you see, and so Newcastle's a beach city, and so I guess I tend to go north rather than south for my beaching. But yes, I've done a few outdoor gigs. I don't do many. They're pretty tricky, actually.
I was just going to say, have you ever really had sand in uncomfortable places performing on a
But
beach?
I was still talking about singing.
Or what other performances are we talking about at one's beach?
Well, we'll save that for another day. But Yeah, look, the hardest thing of doing a show that's outdoors on the beach in particular is dealing with the elements. And so, it's not like Glee on television where as soon as you open your mouth, the orchestra, comes in behind you and
Mm,
there's amazing
mm.
music.
Oh, gosh, wouldn't it be great if life was like that?
Yes, it takes a lot of engineering now to get a good sound if somebody's performing. So if somebody will there. I mean, why do you ask? Is there an event coming up down there where people are singing on the beach?
No, no, there's not. But it's something I've always wanted to do. And the fact that you're an award-winning professional comedian and entertainer, I thought that might be something you'd like to do. You could maybe tread the waters first for me, pardon the pun.
Well, maybe, and of course I'll choose to do it in the middle of winter when it's nice and cool.
Don't go into the water then. Hey, tell me, have you got any upcoming gigs?
You know what I do? I'm pleased to say I am performing at a lovely French restaurant called Claire's restaurant in Oxford Street here in Sydney, and they have an amazing space upstairs where they hold events called pop-up cabaret. So Claire's pop-up cabaret. So it's a nice intimate space, a 2 or 3 course meal. I think fine dining French food and an act. And on the 1st of March this year, I'll be the act as part of Mardi Gras, the Mardi Gras festival, which is around then. So I need to get my skates on and try
And
and put
warm
something
up those
together.
tonsils.
Yeah, the tonsils, and of course, I do a little bit of humour. Not that I'm doing much now, but yes, yeah, there's always lots of laughs to be had. So I'm looking forward to a great event.
And tell me, and as we've mentioned, you've had 11 months off from entertaining. The industry is starting to put the wheels back in motion. What's it like to know that you're about to walk back out on stage again and have a real live audience right there in front of you?
I'm really looking forward to it, actually. But I am quite interactive with the crowd, and I love people to sing along with me. So I don't know to what degree they'll be able to do it in the current environment. Maybe they'll have to be masked up. But so I'm looking forward to it, but it will be a little bit different. The numbers will be restricted to make it safe for everybody. But I'm the more I think about it, the more excited I get about it. And of course, because it's been so long since I've performed, I'll be able to bring out some old jokes and hope that nobody remembers them.
Well, it has been a while between drinks, hasn't it?
Between shandies, yes, between shandies.
Now, tell me, just before I let you go, I noticed on your website that you had a dance with a former Prime Minister. Can you tell me about that briefly?
Yes, a young man called Malcolm Turnbull attended. I hosted a event. It's called Aurora. It happens every year, and it's a huge fundraising event, and held at the town hall. It's really quite spectacular, and I was fortunate enough to MC the event, and it's always full of lots of laughs. And so I was down amongst the crowd, and of course a range of politicians are invited. And Mr. Turnbull was there, Mr. Malcolm Turnbull, and we had a few laughs and a little bit of a jig, but most famously, I have kissed Malcolm Turnbull, and
Is this a
and
scoop?
but
Is this a scoop, Denise?
well, maybe. It was before he was the prime minister, of course, so that that was before the bonk ban came into play. It was just an innocent kiss, I promise you. But I also, on the same evening, walked to the floor and gave Tanya Plebiscite a big kiss as well. So it was a bipartisan kissing event, that one, Malcolm and Tanya. So yeah, it was quite fun. He was a very good sport. Well, they both were actually very good sport.
And just finally, Denise, what's your song for Australia Day?
Well, so many songs, so many great Australian artists. But I love a bit of Ollie. I love Olivia Newton-John. She's one of my favourites. So, and after a few shandies, I'm sure it'll become more relevant. I'd go for Let's Get Physical, Stephen.
All right, well, let's get physical indeed, Denise. I'm going to go out and just try and find that for you now. Thank you so much for joining me on Tuesday Drive. Enjoy the rest of your Australia Day. Best of luck with the upcoming gig. I know you got those 3 skills there, but look, quite frankly, I don't think you'll need it. You'll be all over it.
Well, anything can happen. I'll try a cartwheel as well if things go bad with the others.
Right, send me the pictures. I want to see it.
Good on you, Stephen. It's so lovely to speak with you. Happy Australia Day.
Thank you. That was award-winning entertainer Denise Hanlon, who has been a regular performer in Kangaroo Valley over the years. And why don't we listen to her song choice now? This is Tuesday Drive on Triple UFM. Good afternoon.
This is Tuesday Drive